Hey, welcome back to another vlog! I'm Lucas, and today, accidents. So in my life, I've been a very careful person. I have never done anything crazy like some of my friends do. Basically, the first week I met him, he was talking about all of his accidents, and he did quite a couple of them. Now, I've been a careful person, and I've not really done anything particularly dangerous. But I have been in some accidents. Not bone breaking accidents. I didn't have to come back into school with a plaster on my leg or my arm, like one of my other friends in my previous school did a lot, simply because I have no idea. And there have been a couple of instances, but only a couple of them, where I have been in some accidents, like little things which happened during my childhood, which led me to scars and bruises and hurt, which I'm about to share with you today. So let's take it way back, way past adolescence. Let's go past childhood. Let's go to when I was 3. Now, when I was 3, my mom told me of a story that happened to me when I was 3. And when I was 3, I used to be way more active than I am today. People used to call me wild because I kept on running around and I didn't obey my parents. I just could not control myself. It was basically like I had a ball of fire within me which propelled my emotions and made me crazy, hyper. I still am hyper today, but not as hyper as I was before, apparently. Uh, Then there came this one day where I was running around the room. My parents were just sitting on one of the sofas, and I was just running around the room. Then suddenly, I ran straight into a table. Now, when I mean straight into a table, I was still very small, so my head, the top of my head, hit the side of the table, the sharp end of the table, like the corner. And what happened was, apparently I started bleeding. Now, it wasn't a really hard bleed, but it was still quite severe. I mean, there was blood that was starting to trickle down my head. And of course, because I was 3, I didn't understand what was pain. All I knew was I was hyper, and I kept on running around in circles. My mom, she saw this, and then she got scared, panicked, like any mom would do, and that was the end. She fixed the wound, and I lived on to be here. Nothing bad happened apart from right now. I still have a little bump on my head. I can just move around and I can feel the bump, and that's kind of annoying-ish because I don't like bumps. I I like smooth. I like everything to be nice and orderly. I don't know. I just like things the way it should be, not with little bumps on my head, and also the scars which I'm about to mention about. Then another time, this time it was when I was around 6, there came this moment where we had to go to town. Now the lift was broken because sometimes lifts break, and so we had to take the stairs. The only problem was the person who designed the stairs were not very good at designing stairs, because we ended up with a bunch of stairs that were asymmetrical. Like, some of the steps were taller than others, and it wasn't straight. It wasn't like a straight way down. It kind of shifted so that the left side of the stair were higher and more forward than the right. So basically, if you imagine, if you look down towards the stairs, there's the top of the stairs, and then it kind of did like a sort of like this kind of shape. So it's really awkward to walk up and down those set of stairs. Now, when I was 6, I didn't really understand that we had to be careful. So when I walked on this down the stairs, I tripped and I started rolling down the stairs, like just like a little wheel. Now at the end I didn't get hurt, but it was still pretty scary for my mom again because she was there to see it, and I ended up crying most of the way down the stairs because yeah, it hurts, but then what can I do once I am down the stairs? The pain will eventually go away. There wasn't really much damage, it was just me rolling down the stairs, and in a way, now that I think about it, it's a little bit funny, but at the same time, it was painful, so. There was also this one other time where, completely stupid, I decided to run straight into a pole. Now I do this kind of thing often, mainly because I'm self-punishing myself after doing something stupid. Now I can't remember the exact stupid thing, nor exactly the reason why I did it, but I decided to run straight into a pole because I'm stupid. And I'm saying stupid not in the I can't do stuff normally stupid. I'm saying the I am doing stuff which I should not be doing because I don't think before I do it kind of stupid. And that is basically the reason why I do many of the things I do. Mainly because I don't think before I act. And then I end up, well, making a fool of myself, but also maybe hurting other people. And if you are one of these people, you probably should tell me to stop doing what I'm doing because, well, I have basically no understanding. I have no consideration. I don't understand other people, and I have no idea what you actually feel once I do something. So, just a quick note: if you are watching this video and you know me, and I do something hurtful and unusual, please tell me. That way, I can stop doing stuff and I can think better before I start acting. It would benefit me at least, and also benefit other people as well. So, just a quick note. Do tell me if I'm doing anything stupid. Now back to what we were actually discussing, which was accidents. Right, now before I talk about my major accident, I'm just gonna fast forward it to today. Now today, I'm not hyper, I'm kind of stupid. I do things without thinking, and I end up injuring myself. For example, one time we were paper cutting, and with a pair of blunt scissors, I managed to cut, through the finger, but slice two beautiful slits into my finger. And it started bleeding, but not too much. No one noticed. But it still was a very, very stupid move on my part. There was this other time where, you know the chair I'm sitting on right now? I did fall in the beginning of this video, but this is not how I fall if I fall on this chair. Usually, because this is a chair that reclines, sometimes what happens is I recline too far back and then I go kabloom. Now so far, nothing has really been destroyed. My computer is still intact, my chair is still intact, I'm still intact, everything's fine. Right, time to talk about the major accident. And this is the one that left most scars on my body. Now, I'm not sure if you can see it on the camera, but I have a scar right here. Let's bring it up closer. I don't think you can see it, but there is a scar. You can clearly see it's shinier and not as smooth as the rest of the body. It's also slightly pushing outwards. It basically looks different, like something happened to it. And what happened was I burned my skin. Now, I didn't burn it in the sense that you would take a torch and you would put it on the skin. I burned it, actually it's more like rubbed it against plastic. Now, I didn't say rub it against plastic. I meant rubbing against plastic on a treadmill. I better start from the beginning. That way you get a better idea. Right, so it was a quiet evening in my uncle's house. Well, at least my parents were playing cards on the table. So we were in a coffee room and they were playing around the coffee table playing cards. And in a corner on the side of the coffee room, there is a treadmill. Now, the treadmill is faced against the wall, and it's working because it's plugged in. And of course, because I was young and I liked treadmills, they were interesting. They moved, and I didn't understand why. Now, before then, I didn't really understand the fact that treadmills could go fast. I didn't also understand how fast a treadmill could go. So that was one of the reasons why that happened. Now, on the treadmill, there's a couple of buttons. There was a button written 30, 60, 90, and 120. Now, it's possible that they could have meant 120 meters per minute, which would make sense. That would be 2 meters per minute. It's very unlikely they said 2 kilometers per hour, because that's really fast, or even 120 meters per second, which is even faster and insane if someone can run at that speed. Now, I pressed that button, 120. I don't know, still don't know what it is. And what happened was the treadmill started working, so it started going round and round and round and round. Now, what I did was I then put my foot on the moving part of the treadmill, and then what happens next is pretty predictable. My foot whacks to the side, I fall onto the treadmill, and then the treadmill pushes me against the wall and starts rubbing my skin. Now, of course, the skin rubbing against rubber produces friction, and then friction produces an intense amount of heat, and that started burning my skin. And my parents, they saw it, and they run up to the machine, and the only way they could disarm the machine was by pulling the thing that you attach to your shirt. If you fall back too far back, you end up stopping the machine. So they had to pull that, and by that time it was a good 15 seconds of rubbing. So I ended up on scars on my foot, on my hand. I think there was also a major one on my arm, but that already has faded away. And what happened next was I ran to my room. I sat there on the bed for a second. My mom came in. She asked me if I was alright, and then she inspected my body. And that's when I found out the scars. Well, they were not scars yet, they were burns. They were literally red, hot red. And then, only then did I actually feel the pain. What we then did was my aunt, who happens to be a nurse, took me to the hospital and treated my burns with some medicine, and we kept on applying the medicine. Now, it hurts a lot, especially when you touch raw skin, but after some time, the wound slowly healed, and I ended up with these scars, which I still have on my body, and which reminds me of that event which happened where I burned my skin. Now, of course, there is no accident without a lesson. So what did I learn from that ordeal? Well, I learned that never climb on a treadmill when it's against the wall. That is super dangerous. So, that was the accidents that has happened in my lifetime, or at least the ones that I can remember. And it is also the end of this video. If you liked it, click the like button. If you didn't like it, click the dislike button. You've got anything to add? Maybe an accident that has happened to you? Similar, maybe you also got squeezed in by a treadmill? Then if you want to share it with the rest of the community, put it in the links below. No, put it in the comments below. Otherwise, I am Lucas. Thank you for watching my vlog. I hope you watch another one of my vlogs, and I am gonna say goodbye!